Put Gus away, please. Good morning, Lemonheads. Good morning, Lemon Nation. So glad that you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Hot Topics, 10 a.m.-ish Eastern Time every morning. Wow, the tea is good. This is good. Thanks, Tim. Very good. Lemony, honey. How are you doing this morning? The madness ensues. Look, guys, I don't even have my lights on. We didn't do my LGBTQ thing this morning. How are you guys doing this morning? We have a lot to discuss. We have, when I say the tea is hot and warm and good, well, the tea is hot, warm, and good because we're going to be talking about something that is going to cheer you up, so to speak. I mean, we're in a state of chaos, obviously, in the world and in the country right now. But it's going to cheer you up because MAGA is turning on itself. They are turning on each other, which is both good and bad because sometimes I don't know where we are. And so anyway, happy Juneteenth, everybody. It's June 19th. Can we just put up the Juneteenth article real quick and then we'll get to the other stuff. But this is June 19th, Juneteenth, and it's when the slaves were officially freed or supposed to be, but then, that's when it was supposed to be before, but then that's when the general arrived in Galveston, Texas to say, hey, slaves are free. And so we celebrated today. Let's go in the article and just show people. So just in case you don't know, this is on June 19th, 1865, Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas with news that the Civil War was over and that all the remaining enslaved people in Texas were free, an event now celebrated nationwide as Juneteenth. And so that's what we celebrate today. We're going to get a report to you a little bit later on. Okay. So what's the tea, Don? Someone says on this Juneteenth. I hope you're at home and you're enjoying. If you have a day off, congratulations to you. I'm glad that you do, but what are you doing to celebrate? What are you doing to mark the anniversary of this very, very important day? What are you doing? You should be doing something. So anyway, please hit the likes, hit the thumbs up. Make sure you smash the hearts. If you're watching us on TikTok, by the way, let me just flip. There we go. Mirror the TikTok camera. Make sure you hit the hearts and you hit that thumbs up. It does affect the algorithm and more people become aware of our conversation. Great engagement this morning. My goodness, already you guys are in here. You're in these here chat streets. So thank you for doing it. And make sure you subscribe. It's at the bottom right-hand side of the screen, right near or under the chat that you see scrolling there. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, everybody. Big stretch. I gave myself the day off and I refused to work on anything. Good for you. It is a very busy day for me. I'm also traveling. I'll tell you later what's going on. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Okay. So yesterday, we had a variety of things. Today, kind of a variety, but we're going to talk about the MAGA folks fighting. The girls are fighting. The guys are fighting. However you want to qualify it, they're all fighting this morning. Let's put up the New York Times article. Here it is. We touched on it a little bit yesterday, but not nearly enough because more people have come out. There's more fighting. Trump's base in uproar over his openness to joining Iran fight. Now, that is a little bit of a tabloid headline, but that is from the New York Times. So when the New York Times is saying they're in an uproar, they're in an uproar. That some shit is going down, and it is going down in some of the most vocal and biggest names in the Trump glazing arena. Some of the biggest names are going out, going against Donald Trump, calling him out and saying, man, you're off on this one. Now, is he going to lose their support? I don't know. But on this one, it looks like it. And a lot of people you see Tucker Carlson up there. Tucker Carlson, wait till you show this interview. I know that some of you are like, oh my God, I can't stand to see Tucker Carlson, blah, blah, blah. You want to see this. And I'm going to play it for you. And I'm telling you, if you're off today, please make sure, grab your tea and sit down and watch what I'm about to show you. I'm trying to print something because I want to know where I'm going because there's so much. And watch what we talk about. Now, let's see where we should start on this good Thursday morning. Because as I said, look, there's a lot to talk about. So let's see where we should start on this good Thursday morning. Let's start. Why don't we start with, and also look, let's show the Hill. The Hill has a report as well that says Trump talk on joining Iran-Israel conflict unnerves lawmakers in both parties. Well, it's obvious that it's probably unnerving some Democrats, but to unnerve the people in his own party is really where the tea is right now, because that is what's happening. Okay, so we shall start with, if I can print my stuff, there we go. Let's start with Candace Owens, shall we? Now, I know how much you guys love you some Candace Owens, right? That's your girl. I'm kidding. Candace Owens is saying Donald Trump is all over the place. Now, you know, I've been saying that Donald Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't really have any influence. He wants to pretend that he does. And you're going to see reports about, oh, it's me and him blustering and saying, I got to get back, from the G7. I got to whatever. I told them that they needed to come up with a deal. All of that stuff. I know Candace Owens. Oh, Lord. I know. But Candace Owens, again, like we said yesterday and the day before, a broken clock is right twice a day. We said that about Tucker Carlson. Now, Tucker Carlson gets into Ted Cruz's ass. It's good. And Candace Owens gets into Donald Trump's. Now, she is agreeing with me, I believe, here. She said Donald Trump is all over the place. He's saying, hey, let's do it. I'm for the war. I'm against the war. I said do this. I said do that. Here's Candace Owens.
So right now, the lack of consistency, it is stunning to watch Trump do this. He's all over the place right now on social media. I mean, he initially signaled right away that America had nothing to do with what happened in Iran, that America was not going to get involved, that he was negotiating peace. Then he signaled that he didn't have any idea that the attack was coming, but also that he did know that the attack was coming. And now he's tweeting we. He's literally using we to describe what is happening in Iran right now. Let's just take a look at some of these tweets. We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American-made, conceived, and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old USA. Oh, well, hey, yeah, we've got our planes in the skies. Okay, American troops might die, but USA, 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 because our stuff is so good and good looking in the sky. The big bad American planes are in the sky. What does he think? We're stupid? And the people online that are trying to pretend that we are the ones betraying Trump for holding him accountable to his promises that he made to us when we voted for him, when we encouraged other people to vote for him. You're pretending that we're the ones that are problematic? This level of gaslighting that's taking place. You got Laura Loomer out there saying, screenshot every tweet that's against Donald Trump. Let me tell you something, sweetheart. You better start capturing Donald Trump's tweets that are going out right now because they seem pretty against Donald Trump's ideas of yesteryear. That's all I'm saying. Everything that he said, every bit of BS that he called out, calling out the neocons, the people that...
Don, you're muted.
I told y'all the tea was hot. Thank you, Nikki. I told y'all the tea was hot. I know it's up, but you guys really want to. It's hot and it's spilling everywhere. That's Candace Owens saying, look, Donald Trump, get your shit together as it relates to Iran. That's what he's saying. That's what she's saying. That's what he's saying. That's what she would say about Mrs. Macron, but there you go. Anyways, that's what Candace Owens is saying. Donald Trump, get your shit together as it relates to Iran. Get on the same page. Have some consistency. Have a plan, which he does not. We know he has no plan. You already know that. And so I think it's interesting to hear the right and his sycophants call him out. Now, is Candace Owens wrong? I don't know. No, I don't think that she's wrong on this. Isn't it a weird world where all of a sudden you find yourself like agreeing with Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson? Huh. Is this like, where are we right now? Wow, this is a bizarre place to be in. Now, Candace Owens before, look, I'll play this now. This is not the first time that Candace Owens has gone up against Trump. This is why I said they're fighting and they're turning on each other. I was going to play this clip later, but I'll play it earlier. Because Candace Owens is also not happy with Donald Trump. We're going to get back to Iran. But she has not been happy with him about the whole college campus thing and the whole, even some of the deportations. And she has been speaking out against it. Okay? So before we get back to Iran, I'm just saying, Candace Owens and others, and I believe even Ben Shapiro, same thing. They're not down for what's happening on college campuses and with free speech, because you know they have been yelling about free speech on college campuses forever. They have been saying we need to do something about the lack of free speech, so to speak, on college campuses. And then Donald Trump is now cracking down on that free speech, and they are really concerned about it, as they should be. Here's Candace Owens on the lack of free speech she believes on college campuses.
We are seeing Americans arrested because I'm so shocked by the fact that they're arresting students that have green cards and getting them out of kicking them out of the country. And I'm just going, was I alive for BLM when the Trump administration in 2016 took the approach that this was really wrong and radical and leftist when people were demanding speech laws and hate speech laws for BLM?
Interesting. Again, so that's Candace Owens speaking out. She said, I never thought I would be see myself going up against Donald Trump. Now, Candace Owens, let's talk about this interview. So Candace Owens also weighed in on this amazing interview that Tucker Carlson did with Ted Cruz, mainly about what's happening in Iran and foreign wars. They talked about Ukraine, Russia, but they mostly talked about what's happening with Israel and Iran. Someone said maybe we'll see her at the next protest. Jay Noswitz, I doubt it. Well, she's pregnant now. She's a shameless opportunist, period, says Casual Observer. Okay. Probably not wrong on that one. So this amazing interview that she's weighing in on between Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz. Now, I don't know if there's any context behind this because we haven't played the actual interview yet. And so should we just pick it up from the Candace Owens part, or should we play the entire thing, guys? What do you think here? Because
I think you need the context of the clip.
Okay, so she's weighing in on which part is she reacting to?
It's the part where they talk about theology and Ted Cruz about being blessed. About
the Bible. Okay, so then let's go to first of all, we're going to play you the Tucker Carlson part here, where Tucker Carlson is asking him about why he supports Israel, and Ted Cruz says, well, it's the Bible. I think the Bible commands us to do it. So here's Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz. Watch.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed.
Pause.
And from my perspective,
please. Now, I want you to keep in mind here. Now you guys know that I am a Christian, okay? But we don't live in a theocracy. So for Ted Cruz to say some shit like this is really concerning, because Ted Cruz is basically saying that he is governing and operating as an elected official based upon his religion, which should not happen. Now, I know people think, like, when I say, all these wars it's about religion, they think that's too simplistic or whatever. But I think that that gets to the bottom of it. This is mostly about religion. This is about Muslims and Jews and Christians and all that. Like most of the wars that are fought in this world are about over religion, which is just shocking, because religion is supposed to be about what the doctrines or the tenets of religion is supposed to be about the best of us, all of us. Not about killing people and war. That's not what religion is supposed to be about. But for some reason, men and women or mankind can't seem to act on that. But for Ted Cruz to say that he is based most of what he believes in and how he is governing on the support of Israel should be shocking and stunning and disappointing and probably disqualifying. Here he is. Continue.
I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker...
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this.
Thank you. Okay. This is so weird that I'm agreeing with Tucker Carlson. This is a Christian, and I'm away that you're throwing out like theology. We do not live in a theocracy. America is not supposed to be a theocracy. Ted Cruz, you're saying the quiet part out loud. That's not how we're supposed to be governing. You can be a believer. We're about freedom of religion. This country was not founded on as a Christian nation. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And so for you, look, okay, you can have your values, but to say that I want to be on the blessing side, therefore, because of my beliefs, I must support Israel because of something the Bible said that was written in the Bible by men thousands of years ago, and you're basing your beliefs on what's happening in the present on something that is in the Bible, give me a break. I'm sorry. That may offend some of you as Christians and believers, but we should not be doing that. That is not what the government of the United States is based on. We have a separation of church and state, and it doesn't mean literally the land Israel. Thank you, Amanda CBM. And all of it, as I said, the Bible is based upon interpretation. The Bible is parables and it's mythology. It is not about factual references. And that's where we get it wrong. That's why there's so many issues in the world, because people take religious doctrine and they base it in fact, and they operate their government on it and their law and how they conduct themselves. Of course, you should have values, but you cannot push those values onto a government and onto everyone else because they may not believe what you believe. That kind of magical thinking, it leads to magical thinking, and that leads to tyranny, says Kev Z247. Amen. Keep going, please.
Commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what, hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the descendants
God's
of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
And by the way, it's not run by Benjamin Netanyahu as a dictator. It's a democratic country that elected.
He's the prime minister.
Can we just pause, please? It's a country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now. So the Bible is looking forward to the country that was run by Benjamin Netanyahu. And remember, when the Bible was written, there was no America. So if you're going to be basing shit from the Bible on what should be happening in America, then you are way off. And so you're going to be basing shit on the Bible of where Israel is right now. That is magical thinking. Keep going.
But just like, America is the country run by Donald Trump. No, actually, the American people elected Donald Trump. The same principle
This is silly. I'm talking about the political entity of modern Israel.
Yes, and that is
You believe
Israel.
That's what God was talking about in Genesis.
I do, but
that country's existed since when?
For thousands of years. Now, there was a time when it didn't exist, and then it was recreated just over 70 years ago.
I'm saying, I think most people understand that line in Genesis to refer to the Jewish people, God's chosen people.
That's not what it says.
Okay, Israel, but you don't even know where in the Bible it is.
Ted, shh. What's that thing about it's better to keep your mouth shut rather than to open it and confirm something of your ignorance? I forget what the exact quote is. If you have, give it to me in the thing. Ted Cruz. Man, oh man, or something to remove all doubt is how it goes. I just don't have it on the tip of my tongue. Ted Cruz, what are you doing? And Ted Cruz is not alone. There are many people who are in this country now, in this world, who say the same sorts of things, and they have no idea what they're talking about. But this exposes Ted Cruz, and it exposes the leaders who do believe that they should be basing how they conduct themselves and the types of laws that they are enacting and the legislation that they are weighing in on. They're conducting themselves as if we are in a theocracy. As if we are in a theocracy. Now, what I believe that this does is, I believe that this is going to expose, in a sense, the idea that people have been saying for decades now, that we need to reevaluate our relationship with Israel. Why we give Israel so much money. Why we, the de facto, I'll show you some of the stuff. When I'm out on the streets and when I talk to people, the de facto thing is, and I said this to yesterday to a guest when they said Israel has a right to defend itself. Oh, that was to Mike Nellis, and it's going to run soon. You'll see it. Israel has a right to defend itself. That's kind of the default response. And it's like, well, of course Israel has a right to defend itself. You say that every single time, but what does that mean? Is that's an excuse for every single thing? Not an excuse. It's just, I shouldn't say an excuse. It's a default answer. So what does that mean, that Israel has a right to defend itself? Does it mean that Israel has a right to in order to defend itself, to do too much, so to speak, in Gaza, as some folks believe is happening? What does the right to defend itself mean, and where does that begin and end? That's a good question. Now, I don't know if you guys know about what AIPAC is, right? The lobby for there is a discussion that Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson have about AIPAC, that it's a American Israeli political action committee. And wait till you hear and see what they have to say, and how Ted Cruz tries to defend his support from AIPAC, and he tries to pretend that AIPAC is not a foreign institution or a foreign thing. Okay, it doesn't support a foreign country, which is interesting. So stand by. You're going to hear that. First, let's get a word from our sponsor. Support for the Don Lemon Show today comes from MSI United States. Here's a hard, cold fact for you. In sub-Saharan Africa, 4 million teenage girls drop out of school every year because they get pregnant. Just like teenagers everywhere, even here in the United States, all over the world, they experiment sexually. So for many of those girls, there's no access to birth control. Most will never go back to school. Some will risk their lives trying to end the pregnancy, and too many will die. The good news is there's an organization called MSI Reproductive Choices that's known for going to the ends of the earth to bring girls contraception and control over their lives. So give today. Go to msiunitedstates.org or text my last name, Lemon, to 511-511. Text Lemon to 511-511 for just $26. You can give a girl contraception for 4 years. That's 4 years to complete her education and build her future. Text Lemon to 511-511 or go to MSI. That's M as in modern, S as in safe, I as in informed, UnitedStates.org. That's MSIUnitedStates.org. Modern, safe, informed. MSIUnitedStates.org. Okay. And so, look, I think it's important that we concentrate on the Middle East a lot, right? But we don't concentrate on Africa enough, where there are atrocities going on daily there. So it's where we put our focus, what we find interested in. And so I think it's important that we focus on what's happening, the atrocities in Africa, and we try to fix that, because there are young girls there whose lives are in jeopardy. 4 million teenage girls dropping out of school and then basically dropping out of having autonomy over their lives. Support for the Don Lemon Show today also comes from Shopify. Shopify is the platform behind the commerce store on this particular channel. My dream to own a channel, my own network. And here it is. This is my dream to own my own business. And for too many of us, those dreams never materialize because you're worried. You worry that you don't have the, how do I do this alone? What if I don't have the skills? You need to turn those what ifs into why nots with Shopify on your side. There it is. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world. 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names to brands just getting started. So, as I said, this is our merch store is up on the Shopify platform. Okay. So Shopify has all kinds of templates to help you to match with your brand, to help you get email strategy, AI tools to help you create commerce, to help you get a social media strategy, and on and on and on. Okay. So if you get stuck, there's 24/7 award-winning customer service. So turn those dreams into and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/lemon, shopify.com/lemon, shopify.com/lemon. There we go. Thank you. Thank you to our sponsors. We appreciate it. So now back to the program. Okay. So I told you about AIPAC. Okay. Now I want you guys to sit, grab your tea, grab your coffee, whatever it is, even if it may be late enough somewhere, maybe you guys want popcorn, because this one is good. Okay. Here is Tucker Carlson, or here are Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is squirming about his support and what AIPAC is supposed to mean to him and this country. I don't understand it. Here it is.
Obsession with Israel. Why is Israel?
Oh, I don't think I'm obsessed with Israel.
Okay, but I think a lot of people are. And like the question, Israel spies on us. Well, so does every other country. Why are you mad at Israel?
I guess. Oh, no. I'm hardly the one I've never taken money from the Israel lobby. Have you?
Taken money from the Israel
from AIPAC?
So AIPAC raises a lot of money for me, but it's actually a misnomer, because the people who raise money are individuals. Right. So it's not the PAC itself, but they're individual members who believe in the American-Israeli friendship and relationship.
Is AIPAC a foreign lobby?
No, it's an American lobby. It's the AIPAC stands for the America-Israeli Political Action Committee.
What does it lobby for?
So, to be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Listen, I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Right.
And I've worked every day to do that.
Hold that thought. I came into Congress to be the leading defender of Israel. What? Did you guys hear that? Just back it up a little bit, please, Andy. I came into Congress to be the leading defender of Israel. Shouldn't you come into Congress to be the leading defender of the people of, for him, Texas? Now, does that seem to me like, does that seem to you like he's pandering somehow? Imagine if folks said, I came into Congress to be the leading defender of Black people, or I came into Congress to be the leading defender of Africa. People would be like, the leading defender of Africa? This is America. What are you talking about? You know what Barack Obama had to say, because they were like, he's the Black president. He's gonna, and he said, I'm not the leader of Black America or white America. I'm the leader of America. So what if Barack Obama said, I came in to politics because I wanted to be the leading defender of Black people in the country? What? So why aren't people side-eyeing Ted Cruz? Why aren't they calling Ted Cruz racist? Keep going.
To be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Listen, I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Right.
And I've worked every day to do that. AIPAC, a lot of times, AIPAC, I wish were much more effective. Like, there are folks online who are in the fever swamp of terrified of AIPAC, and AIPAC...
I'm not terrified of AIPAC at all. You're the one who seems a little uncomfortable when I'm asking.
No, not uncomfortable at all.
I'm just asking what AIPAC does. My understanding, having known a lot of people who work at AIPAC, is that it lobbies on behalf of the Israeli government.
Wrong.
Oh, okay. The last time AIPAC took a position that deviated from Prime Minister Netanyahu?
All the time.
Name one.
Okay. Let me go back and give a little history. If you want to do a deep dive on AIPAC,
I don't. I want to do a shallow dive that gets.
No.
I want to get to the core question. AIPAC is lobbying for a foreign government, and I don't. It's not.
No.
It's lobbying for the United States.
Okay, back up, please. Back up. You please, guys, pay attention to this next one. He says AIPAC is not lobbying for a foreign government, but it's Israel. But just back up a little bit, because this is the most interesting part, I think, of this whole thing, where he tries to pretend that he's getting support. You can get support for whoever you want. I'm not saying that he shouldn't get support from AIPAC. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that he should be transparent about it, and he shouldn't lie about it and try to twist himself into a pretzel to say that it's not lobbying on behalf of a foreign country, because it actually is. Let's be honest. What is it? Israel is not America. It is a foreign country. That is just facts, truth. Not anti-Semitic to say that. It is the truth. If there was AIPAC and the whatever it was, or AIPAC, whatever, however you call it for it, and that would say Africa, that would be a foreign, well, it would be a foreign continent. But you get what I'm saying. Let's go.
Yeah,
all the time.
Name one.
Okay. Let me go back and give a little history. If you want to do a deep dive on AIPAC,
I don't. I want to do a shallow dive that gets. No. I want to get to the core question. AIPAC is lobbying for a foreign government, and I don't. It's not.
No.
It's lobbying for the United States.
It is lobbying for a strong U.S.-Israeli relationship.
Okay. So it's not, has nothing to do with the foreign government.
It wants America and Israel to be closely allied.
Okay, but it's lobbying on behalf of the interests of another country.
So that's not true at all. And if
it's not true.
No.
How much contact do you think AIPAC leaders have for the government of Israel?
No idea. I imagine some. I think the government of Israel is often frustrated with AIPAC because AIPAC's not nearly strong enough.
Do you think there's any coordination between the government of Israel and AIPAC?
Do they talk? Sure. If you're lobbying for more U.S.-Mexico trade, would you talk to people in the U.S. and Mexico and the government? Sure. Like if...
So I'm not mad about that. There are a million countries that lobby Washington. I like a lot of those countries, including Israel.
But AIPAC are Americans. They're not Israelis. Hold on.
There are tons of Americans who lobby on behalf of foreign governments. I know them. I'm related to some of them. I know how it works. I'm from here. So my question is not, is it outrageous that foreign governments lobby the United States? They all do, okay? Right. Including Israel. Right. My only question is, why don't we admit that is what's happening? You're denying it, but it's true. Pause, please. And why?
Okay, that is, wow. Tucker, why didn't you do this when you were on Fox News? What is going on? Is Tucker Carlson pulling a reverse Gavin Newsom here? Because you remember, well, but actually, he's doing it, but he's doing it better. Sorry, Gavin. Do you remember when Gavin interviewed, Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon and so on, and he's like, my son loves you, whatever. But this is the interview, how it should have been conducted, right? And so it's just odd. Like, where are we? Where are we right now? Like, this is the interview that I would expect, like, Gavin Newsom to be doing with Ted Cruz and not Tucker Carlson. Do you guys know what I'm saying? This is like an interview that I would think like Pete Buttigieg would be doing if he was interviewing or what, or me. Tucker, why didn't you do this when you were on Fox News? Now, I'm going to play you something about Tucker a little bit later on, but why? Okay, so here's the thing. This is getting to the crux of it. Why can you not say it? Are people backed into a corner by saying if you at all question anything about AIPAC, a relationship with Israel, any of it, that you are anti-Semitic? Now, that's a dangerous thing to say, but I believe that that is the truth. Why is that? We question a lot of things. Donald Trump is questioning, and Elon Musk question the effectiveness of FEMA. which is supposed to be helping the American people, and then in some ways got rid of it. FEMA's like not helping people, but are they being called un-American because they did it? Are they being called anti-American because they question whether? Now, I actually happen to think that you need FEMA. People may think that you need AIPAC. Perhaps we do, but questioning that relationship and why you can't question the relationship with Israel is by doing that is always anti-Semitic. It backs people into a corner that you can't. It's like saying, well, why can't you do that? Because the Bible says, and you're like, oh, Lord, I can't go against the Bible, or Jesus said, or the Lord said, and then you can't go against it. So why can't you question Israel? Because it's anti-Semitic. Well, it's not necessarily. So, okay, just back up a little bit. So this is the crux, I believe, that gets people confused and confounded, and they feel like they can't ask legitimate questions about this. Here it is.
Okay, including Israel. My only question is, why don't we admit that is what's happening? You're denying it, but it's true.
Yeah,
and
why
aren't they registered as a foreign lobby?
Because they're not.
They're not a foreign lobby.
No, they're not. And this is that there's a fever swamp. Look,
it's not a fever swamp. These are very reasonable questions, and you've accused me of being obsessed with Israel, which I'm not.
I actually haven't. I've said
and
isolation
being feverish about it, which I'm not at all. I find it's a very tender spot when you ask it, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
So, Tucker, all right, let's go back. I was first elected to the Senate in 2012. I came in Obama's second term. And I actually saw AIPAC be badly.
Okay. So, and you guys can disagree with me. We can have a conversation about this. And we should be able to. Everyone says it's so hard. Everyone always says these conversations are so hard. You can't ask these questions about women. You can't ask these questions about Black people. You can't do this. It's just these conversations are really tough and really hard. You can't ask this about Israel. Yeah, you can. We should be able to. That's why we have a First Amendment in the Constitution. We should be able to. And remember, Tucker's whole thing was, and the conservatives' whole thing is, I'm just asking questions. Just asking questions. Just asking questions. Where's the lie here? Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz discussing Israel and countries spying on America. Now watch this one, backed into a corner again.
Is it in America's interest? Is it in America's interest for Israel to spy on us, including on the president?
It is in America's interest to be closely allied with Israel because we get huge benefits for it. And you want to see the clearest.
But I just want to stop on the spying for a second. That it takes place, as you know, and including on the president of the United States and several presidents. And I just want to know if that's okay and why is it okay? Wouldn't an American lawmaker say to a client state, you're not allowed to spy on us? I'm sorry. I know why you want to. I'm not mad at you, but you're not allowed to.
Sure.
And I don't care for it. I don't want to be spied on by you. It's kind of weird not to say that, but you don't seem able to say that.
Sure, I would say don't spy on us. They're going to anyway. And by the way, the Brits are, the Canadians are. I don't think.
Well, I'm not for that at all. I think it's disgusting. But we don't actually pay their. We're not their most meaningful sponsor. We're not sort of paying for the operations of the British government.
So I got to say, and this is it's weird. We're talking about isolationists, the obsession with Israel. Why is Israel?
Well, I don't think I'm obsessed with Israel.
Okay, but I think a lot of people are. And the question, Israel spies on us. Well, so does every other country. Why are you mad at Israel?
I guess. No. I'm hardly the one who's. I've never taken money from the Israel lobby. Have you?
Taken money from the Israel.
From AIPAC.
So AIPAC raises a lot of money for me, but it's actually a misnomer because the people who raise money are individuals. Right. So it's not the PAC itself, but they're individual members who believe in the American-Israeli friendship and relationship.
Is AIPAC a foreign lobby?
No, it's an American lobby. It's the AIPAC stands for the America-Israeli Political Action Committee.
What does it lobby for?
So, to be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Listen, I came into Congress.
Okay. So there we go again. That repeats itself a little bit. So does this really show that there's a lot of this doesn't make sense, especially when you're basing much of policy? Obviously, you have to base foreign policy somewhat on. You have to be aware of the different shall we say, intricacies of religion, because that is what a lot of this is based on when you're looking at foreign policy and you're looking at what's happening in other parts of the world. But it really kind of exposes not necessarily the hypocrisy, but just how kind of ridiculous some of this stuff is, really. It has life or death consequences, but a lot of it is really built on not even a house of cards, but just like the foundation is not really solid. It doesn't make sense. And you're relying on mythology in order to prop up reality. And when you do that, you find that there's no legitimate base for it, except for sometimes magical thinking. And it takes you out of, many times, I believe, when you rely on just because my religion tells me this, my God tells me this, or whatever, then you lose the humanity. Because you're relying on words and doctrine written in books by men who also at the time had an agenda. This one's on, right?
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
It's on.
Just checking. Let me get this out of the way, and then we're going to finish up here in just a second, because I just want to tell you guys, by the way, it is Juneteenth. So here's the thing. Support for the Don Lemon Show today comes from BetterHelp, Better H-E-L-P. And this is because we're dealing with a lot of things, right? In this world, all of us, men, women, children, all of us, we live in a world that's topsy-turvy, upside down. Look at what we're reporting on. And so people are dealing with things. I like to take the stigma off of mental health. You can get help. So June just so happens to be is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Men today face immense pressure to provide, to perform, to keep it all together. So it's no wonder that 6 million men in the United States suffer from depression every year, and that often goes undiagnosed. So you have to remember that everybody is going through some things. It's okay to carry things. It's okay, but sometimes you need to have your burden lifted by speaking to someone, and that can often help. Okay. And therapy should be accessible. It should be affordable. And that's what BetterHelp does, especially going into in-person therapy. This makes it more accessible, more affordable. They have served more than 5 million people worldwide with more than 35,000 licensed professionals, and you can switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. So talk it out, everyone, with BetterHelp. You guys know, every week, therapy for me. Hello, Mr. Therapist. I would tell you his name, but it's private. Hello, how are you? I'm okay. And then we just start talking about whatever. And then he says, well, how do you feel that way? And I go, oh boy, here we go. I have a very good therapist. So talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off of their first month with betterhelp.com/DonLemon, betterhelp.com/DonLemon. So thank you to our sponsors. And thank you, everyone, for your support. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you subscribe and become a member. That's how we continue to stream and tell you and to give you the tea as we are giving it to you today. Okay? So the question is for many people, why so much focus on foreign countries and not America? Which is shocking, again, to hear coming from Tucker Carlson. And then Ted Cruz twisting himself into a pretzel to try to answer it. Ted Cruz, senators focus on foreign countries. Our country is dying. Here it is.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's relevant because you're calling for the overthrow.
Is this a standby? Is this the one? This isn't the one that sums up everything that we've been talking about, is it? No, is it?
No, but I think this is the right clip now that I'll play.
Okay.
Do you think that it's just interesting because what you're now describing in a very defensive way, I will say, is foreign influence over our politics.
No.
And you began, and it's so transparently obvious to everybody, I don't know why you would be embarrassed of it. You've said that you are sincerely for Israel. I believe you. I don't think you have some weird agenda. You seem to be sincere.
By the way, Tucker, it's a very weird thing. The obsession with Israel, when we're talking about foreign countries,
it's hardly an obsession.
You're not talking about Chinese, you're not talking about Japanese, you're not talking about the Brits, you're not talking about the French. The question, what about the Jews? What about the Jews?
Oh, like, I'm an anti-Semite now. Senator,
you're asking the question, Tucker. You're asking, why are the Jews controlling our foreign policy?
Senator,
that's what you just asked.
Why are the Jews controlling our foreign policy? Is that really the question that he asked? Is that really the question that he asked? Or was it what I said before? Is that a way to kind of back people into a corner or to stop any sort of questioning or criticism? Yeah. Now, foreign influence. Is this a Ted Cruz crash out? Did we play that?
That's the one we just played, yeah.
Okay, let's hear the foreign influence. That was the one that we just played just now. Okay, great.
Yes.
All right. So, I'm just trying to see which one I want to play first in my mind. I am editing and producing in my mind right here. So this is Ted Cruz. No, let's do it. Let's Tucker Carlson pressing him on the details of Iran. And this one was played. This is the most popular one and the first one that came out. But I think it's one of the most important. This one and the AIPAC one, I believe, are the two most important ones. And this is Ted Cruz not even knowing what he is voting on and what he is supporting as it relates to Israel, Iran, and the like. Here it is.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's, it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay, this is cute.
It's not even... You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay, I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
claims anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the one who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that...
We're carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting Israel.
High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay. Wow. Ted Cruz. I mean, Ted. Holy shit, man. But Ted is not alone. Imagine if this was Marjorie Taylor Greene. Ted is not alone. And it's so funny because at first I was like, well, maybe it would be better if it was like, you know, a journalist with a different sort of background, or maybe it was like a Democrat. But it's really good, actually. This is perfection, actually, coming from Tucker Carlson. Do you guys not agree? I know it's weird to agree with Tucker Carlson, but this is great because it's like MAGA on MAGA violence, MAGA on MAGA crime. You know, they always say black on black crime. This is white on white crime, MAGA on MAGA crime. It is amazing. Amazing. Now, this is Ted Cruz talking about still not having any idea, and it's not even someone tripping him up like Tucker Carlson with brilliant questions. It is just a reporter asking him, and he still doesn't get it. Here it is.
Iran acquiring a nuclear weapon is an acute threat to the national security of the United States, and I think the president is acting to stand with Israel, our friend and ally, and it's acting to defend America.
But isn't it a breach of his campaign promise not to bring America back into another foreign war?
No, he is not. Nobody's talking about invading Iran. We're not going to see boots on the ground. In particular, the one need that Israel has is Fordo, which is a nuclear research bunker built into the basement, into the bottom of a mountain, was designed to withstand aerial assault. Israel does not have bunker buster bombs large enough to take it out. America does. And so that is a discrete need. Fordo is where they are researching to build nuclear weapons. And understand, Iran is also building ICBMs. ICBMs are intercontinental ballistic missiles. You don't need an ICBM to go to Israel. An ICBM is to take a nuclear weapon to the United States to murder Americans, and President Trump is going to keep Americans safe.
And what do you say to Republican voters who say this is not what the American people want?
The overwhelming majority of Americans, nearly 80%, support President Trump and support President Trump defending us against an Iranian nuclear weapon.
Yeah, that is not where, I don't know where he got those numbers from. They may support President Trump, his base, but not for that. Okay, so here's the thing that I want to tell you. This is Bibi Netanyahu. So this whole idea about a nuclear weapon. Okay, now look. Iran should not, let me just preface this by saying Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. Should not. Also, Israel has the right to defend itself. Israel has a right to exist. Not saying any of that. But when words come out, when things come out of leaders' mouths that appear to not be true, lies, or rhetoric to try to garner support for what they want, even if it's not necessarily true, then they should be called out. And so when he talks about, Iran doing this and that and having access and about to get a nuclear weapon, Benjamin Netanyahu, and why are we doing this now? Bibi Netanyahu has been saying this since 1995, 1996. The exact same thing. And there has been no nuclear weapon or anything produced. Now, is it weapons of mass destruction a la George Bush? I don't know. You can judge for yourself. But watch.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
Now, you know who won't tell you that and who won't really discuss it in a nuanced way is Fox News. And Tucker Carlson worked for Fox News for quite some time. And now Tucker Carlson, this is so weird. This is so weird because this is something that I would say, like, what is Tucker Carlson doing? And Tucker Carlson is criticizing Fox News. Here it is.
What they're doing is what they always do, which is just turning up the propaganda hose to full blast and just trying to, knock elderly Fox viewers off their feet and make them submit to a new war. The Fox platform is just, it's so disgraceful. There's so many good people at Fox. I worked for the Murdochs for, all in over 20 years. I always liked them. I like them now. I'm not attacking them personally, and tons of people at Fox are my friends. And there's a lot about Fox that I love. And they were kind to me, always. Even when they fired me, they were nice. I just want to say that.
Now, he's like, they're turning up the propaganda and whatever. And remember they got sued for Tucker Carlson, and they said that they weren't obligated to tell the truth. And that was part of their lawsuit. That was part of the defense. And Tucker Carlson worked there. Maybe Tucker Carlson is free and loose. And he's like, hey, I don't care. I'm going to say it. But wow. Was he not a participant? Okay, so again, hey, guys, I would say there's something that I want to show you from The View, but I can't because I got to go. But it is Juneteenth today. And we should all be marking that and thinking about the history of this country, really what America was built on. And we should be thinking about Black people in this country and the powers that be who are trying to whitewash the history of this country, American history, Black history, which is American history, and the contributions of Black people, my ancestors, slaves who helped to build this country for free, who were lynched, who died for America. And so let's not forget, and let's not get it twisted, and that, they're not, let's not think that they're not trying to erase Black people in history, all the diversity, equity, and inclusion. They want America to be merit-based. They should have started, if they believe that, by not hiring or appointing the people that they did to Donald Trump's cabinet, because I can't think of one who's qualified for the job. Maybe Marco Rubio, but he is so feckless right now. He looks like at any point he wants to cry. But that's about it. None of them, not one of them is qualified. And so when we're thinking about all of this bullshit about DEI and, oh my God, kids are going to be upset and we're going to make them feel bad about themselves if we teach them about slavery. Come on now. Come on now. So if you're today, don't just sit and have a barbecue because you're going to have a barbecue or a cookout. Careful who you invite to the cookout and who you let make potato salad, by the way. But anyway, enjoy yourselves. But remember why we're doing this. Remember what this day is all about people who don't necessarily get the credit or the attention that they deserve for their contributions to this country. Okay, so happy Juneteenth. I'll see you back here at 5 p.m. Eastern time live. Okay, and by the way, if you want some stuff, like you should have gone to our merch store, you would have like a bag to carry stuff to the cookout. You would have, something to cook to put this stuff in. Your drink, you can put a little sip here, a little beer, a little something in your mug. So go to our merch store and check out our stuff. I can't wait to get the new stuff that's just up, the Turn the TV Off shirt. I can't wait to get the Old People Be Knowing mug, because I just have the Don Lemon Show mug right here and the Lemon Live with the very subtle outline of a lemon on there. You can barely see it. So there you go. Okay. So go check it out, everybody. I'll see you back here live at 5 p.m. Eastern. And until then, turn the TV off. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never, ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.